When 79-year-old May Musk was turned away from a luxury store because she wasn't dressed in designer clothes, she never imagined it would lead to a phone call to her son, Elon Musk. But that one call sparked a chain of events no one saw coming. Instead of letting this humiliation slide, Elon took action in a way that not only addressed the wrong, but ignited a global movement. What happened next didn't just change the store's policies, it shifted the entire industry's definition of respect, equality, and true luxury. This wasn't just a moment of justice. It was the beginning of a revolution. It was a crisp morning in Beverly Hills when May Musk, a successful model, dietitian, and the mother of the tech mogul Elon Musk, stepped into one of the city's most luxurious stores. She had been invited by an old friend for a private shopping experience, a rare opportunity for any shopper looking for exclusivity and designer labels. As she entered the high-end boutique, May was excited to browse the new collection. She had been shopping for years, always enjoying a touch of elegance in her wardrobe, but this day would unfold differently than expected. The store's staff, well trained in high-end customer service, suddenly seemed to change their demeanor when they saw her. There was something in the way they looked at her, something that felt off. May, though gracious, noticed it instantly but didn't let it bother her. After all, she was used to being treated with respect, even in the most exclusive settings. As May approached the racks of designer clothes, a saleswoman politely but firmly told her she needed to leave. The boutique, apparently, had a strict policy about who they allowed in during exclusive hours. At first, May was stunned. She hadn't been turned away from a store in ages. Her reputation as a successful professional preceded her, but this felt like something entirely different. The saleswoman wasn't rude, but the coldness in her tone was unmistakable. The reason for her rejection seemed to be that May's appearance didn't align with the store's desired clientele. Her outfit, a simple and classic piece of her own style, didn't match the high-fashion brand image that the store had built. To add insult to injury, the manager, who had appeared after May was told to leave, confirmed that it was a policy decision, clearly uncomfortable, but not offering much in the way of explanation. May, in disbelief, quietly left the store, feeling humiliated for the first time in years. Her motherly instincts were to just brush it off, but it stung, and she wasn't about to let this incident slide. She was a woman of immense resilience, and this type of treatment felt unjust, not just to her, but to any person who might face such discrimination. At that moment, she felt her phone buzz in her bag. It was a text from her son, Elon Musk. She knew Elon had been busy with his own projects, and while they stayed close, they often communicated briefly. But this time, she was about to share with him something she never thought she would: the story of her rejection. The fallout from the incident spread faster than anyone had anticipated. Elon Musk's actions didn't just impact the store involved. They sparked a conversation about class, respect, and fairness in society. People around the world were impressed with how Elon had used his platform and his influence, not for personal gain, but to stand up for his mother, and in doing so, for others who had experienced similar mistreatment. It wasn't just about one person being wronged. It was about a principle that touched everyone. The media quickly picked up on the story. Headlines read, "Elon Musk stands up for his mother, sparks a national conversation on class and equality." And it wasn't. Long before social media was flooded with posts of admiration for the tech mogul's response, people shared their own stories of unfair treatment, many speaking out about how often they had been judged based on superficial factors like appearance, income, or status. Elon's stand against this kind of discrimination resonated with so many who felt invisible or overlooked. The store, under pressure from the public, not only apologized, but made significant changes. They issued a statement acknowledging their error and vowed to put into place a more inclusive policy for all customers, ensuring that no one would be treated unfairly based on how they looked or what they wore. The store also announced that they would be investing in employee training to address biases and teach empathy, ensuring that future interactions would be handled with more understanding. But perhaps the most significant shift came from the way this incident inspired others. People who had felt powerless began speaking up for themselves, advocating for fair treatment in the same way Elon had done for his mother. The story went viral, with celebrities and influencers sharing it, using their platforms to discuss the importance of treating everyone equally, no matter their status or wealth. What started as a small act of support from a son to his mother had grown into a global movement. Amanda, Elon's mother, spoke publicly for the first time about the incident, thanking her son not only for his love and protection but for using his influence to make a difference. "It wasn't just the fact that Elon did something for me," she said. "It was the fact that he did something for all of us, showing that no one should ever feel less than because of how they look or how much money they have." This small but powerful act of standing up against unfair treatment became a symbol of hope for many. It reminded people everywhere that they had the right to be respected, and that their worth was not determined by their appearance or their bank accounts. Elon's actions had set an example for millions, showing that sometimes true power lies in using your platform for good to make a lasting impact on society. As weeks passed, the story of Elon Musk standing up for his mother continued to ripple through the world, leaving an undeniable mark. The fashion industry, often seen as a space where superficial judgments were the norm, began to shift. The conversation around appearance, wealth, and status had been ignited in a way no one could have predicted. What was once a seemingly simple act of a son defending his mother had become a global moment of change. More companies, especially those in the luxury goods and retail sectors, began to re-evaluate their policies, recognizing the growing demand for inclusivity and respect. Many brands issued public apologies for their past discriminatory actions, while others launched campaigns focused on promoting diversity in how they treated their customers. The attention Elon's stand brought to this issue was not just about one isolated incident. It was about an awakening that had been long overdue. Even those in positions of power in the industry took notice. Executives from other major fashion houses reached out to Elon, asking for his guidance on how to make their brands more accessible and welcoming to everyone. This wasn't just about changing store policies anymore. It was about ensuring that the treatment of every customer was based on fairness and dignity, rather than wealth or status. Elon himself, while a private individual in many ways, began to embrace the role he had unwittingly stepped into. He used his platform to continue advocating for equality, speaking publicly about the importance of fostering inclusivity in all aspects of society. He was asked to participate in talks and interviews that ranged from business ethics to consumer rights, where he shared his views on the power of compassion in business. For Elon, it wasn't just about challenging an outdated policy at one store. It was about changing the way people saw each other, recognizing the inherent value in everyone, regardless of their outward appearances. Musk, meanwhile, was invited to speak at various events where she shared her own experiences of discrimination and how it had shaped her life. She expressed how proud she was of Elon, not just for defending her, but for helping to create a world where fairness and respect took precedence over appearance and material wealth. Her story, too, became a beacon of inspiration for many who had been quietly enduring similar experiences without a voice to speak out. The movement didn't stop with the fashion industry. From corporate offices to local communities, people started demanding more inclusive spaces where everyone, regardless of their background or appearance, was treated with the respect they deserved. It was a cultural shift, one that, at its heart, was about seeing people for who they truly were, not just how they looked or what they could afford. The legacy of that single, seemingly small incident, Musk being rejected for simply wearing modest clothing, had turned into a wave of positive change. It was a reminder that sometimes the smallest act of kindness or standing up for what's right could have an impact beyond imagination. Months after the incident, the world saw a profound transformation. What began as a personal story of a mother being rejected for the way she looked evolved into an international movement. The fashion industry was just the beginning. Other industries, from hospitality to entertainment, began reassessing how they treated their customers. It wasn't just about checking a box for inclusivity anymore. It was about creating spaces where people felt respected, regardless of their appearance or financial status. The conversation about respect, dignity, and equality was now at the forefront of public discourse. As the changes continued to unfold, Elon Musk's influence only grew. He was invited to speak at conferences dedicated to social justice and ethical business practices. He shared his story, not just as the son of a woman who was rejected, but as someone who believed in the power of change. Elon spoke about using one's platform and influence for good and how businesses needed to rethink their strategies if they wanted to connect with today's conscious consumer. His ideas about fairness and social responsibility resonated with companies worldwide, encouraging them to adopt more ethical practices. Meanwhile, Musk continued to speak out, sharing her experiences with both kindness and grace. She began working closely with organizations that focused on empowering people to embrace their true selves, free from judgment or prejudice. Her journey became a powerful example of resilience, and she used her platform to promote a message of inclusivity and acceptance. She became an advocate for the marginalized, inspiring others who had been shunned or mistreated to stand up and demand the respect they deserved. What was once a negative experience had blossomed into a powerful, widespread movement. People from all walks of life, from different corners of the world, began sharing stories of how they, too, had faced discrimination or judgment based on their appearance. Elon Musk and Musk's courage to stand up to unfair treatment had given them a voice that echoed across the globe. The ripple effects were felt beyond just the professional world. Families, schools, and communities began holding conversations about self-worth, compassion, and the importance of treating others with kindness. The world was slowly shifting toward a more inclusive and respectful society, one where appearances didn't define a person's value. As for the store that had initially rejected May, the changes they made were monumental. They not only introduced a new set of policies ensuring that all customers, regardless of their background, were treated with respect, but they also made public statements about their commitment to inclusion. They used the incident as a lesson in the importance of human dignity, showcasing the power of admitting when something is wrong and taking responsibility. Musk and Elon Musk had never intended to start a revolution, but that's exactly what happened. They simply stood up for what was right, and in doing so, they helped the world see the truth, that every person, no matter who they are or how they look, deserves to be treated with the same level of respect and compassion.